So I was just going through my orders on Shops, and I want to talk about something that I've noticed twice now, actually. And it's basically ghost orders that happen with your Facebook Shops, right? So with Facebook Marketplace specifically, when you don't really need to worry about the email notifications. You can use them if you want, but what I basically do, and what I think a lot of other people do, is they just use the notifications on Facebook specifically that come down in like your personal drop-down menu, right? Like if somebody were to like one of your posts or something, the same exact place where you get a notification, you get a new order for Facebook Marketplace, right? And the only thing there that I've ever seen that's like, can throw you off is like sometimes it'll say like you have an order, which means that you have an old order, right? And it just reminds you that you still have an existing order that you haven't shipped out every once in a while. Or you get like you have a new order, which means that you have a new order on Marketplace, and obviously you need to order that, fulfill it, ship it out, whatever it is, whether you're drop shipping or not, right? Now, specifically with Shops, you don't actually monitor it like you would on Marketplace personally, right? So with personal Marketplace, you don't really need to worry about the email notifications. You simply can manage it from the notifications that you get in your personal Facebook profile, right? Just said that. Now, with Shops specifically, you can monitor it with the email notifications, and that's usually the easiest way to do it because every single time you get a sale, you get notified via email that you have a sale, and then obviously you can go in, match the specific number if you're getting a lot of sales, obviously, with Shops on your order page, and then fulfill your order that way. And that's an easy way to keep track of the orders that you've already fulfilled and the new orders that you obviously haven't ordered yet or haven't fulfilled, right? Now, specifically, the issue with ghost orders is that every once in a while on Shops, you don't get an email notification, right? And I've only seen this happen twice on two separate occasions with like 4 or 5 orders. Today it was about, I think it was 4 or 5 orders, and the last time it was literally about 4 or 5 orders. It might have even been like almost like 8 orders or something like that. Regardless, it hasn't happened often. It's only happened 2 separate times, and it's usually a bunch of orders in a row. That's kind of how I notice it, right? So I just kind of wanted to touch on that. Be careful if you're doing Facebook Shops because every once in a while you might get ghost orders. Not going to say it's going to happen to you or this is like an ongoing problem. It very well could have been something on my end, although I find it strange that like it happened in a bunch of different ones and I didn't get notified with those emails, with a bunch of them. If it was just one here and there, like I'd chalk it up like, okay, maybe I deleted that email, but like 5 or 6 emails in a row, obviously there's something going on there. And so I would just say, whether you're, if it's very, very important if you have a lot of orders in a row and you're scaled up because you can easily miss those orders like I have, right? So if that's you, then I'd recommend going through like every couple days to like once a week minimum, and then kind of checking to see that you don't have any like missing orders that are going towards the back end of your orders that like you haven't like fulfilled. You can search the order number really fast and just do like Control F on PC or like search and find on Mac. I'm not sure what the command is. To do it that way. You can also search and find like the name and match it up with your order tab very, very quickly. It might only take you like 5-10 minutes. Now, it's a bigger issue, obviously, in my opinion, if you don't have a lot of orders because then you're going to run into metric issues because, for example, like let's say you have like 20 orders or like 30 orders pending and you miss like 3 or 4 of them because they're ghost orders and you didn't get notified and you're not sure about them. Well, then that's going to potentially hurt your metrics if you have to cancel them. It's going to potentially hurt your metrics if like, they're constantly filing chargebacks or they're filing like, late shipment, right? It's going to hurt all your metrics, right? And it's going to take profit out of your pocket because those are orders that you could have shipped that you didn't ship, so you're obviously not making the money. And most importantly for, at least in my opinion, it's going to take the time to convey back to the customer once they message you or they file a claim that like you never shipped this order out and then you'll have to realize and go back. So the whole thing is like if you stay ahead of this, it hasn't been a major issue at all. I really don't know how many orders I've shipped out already on Shops. It's got to be at least 1,000 already. And like I said, I've only seen this twice on 2 separate occasions, and one of them it was like a bulk of 5 in a row, right? And the other time it was like a bulk of like 4 or 5 again in a row. Not that big of a deal. Just kind of wanted to touch on it today because if you're new, and even if you're not new, obviously, and you're not getting a lot of orders, it can hurt your profit. It's going to potentially hurt your metrics, and it's just a headache you don't want to deal with, okay? So keep an eye out. Obviously, the easiest way is to just, stay vigilant in your notifications via email that you get that you have a new order. Another way, obviously, is when you're in your Facebook shop orders is just like everybody does, just make sure that you're on the specific tab with like orders that are pending, and then typically Not always, because if it's pending for a while, not pending, I misspoke, sorry, the orders that you haven't shipped out yet, right? So typically the newest orders go to the top of that list right there, and you'll just see the newest order at the top, then it just like slowly moves them down and the newest orders stay at the top, right? The only time where that's not the case is if an order has been pending for a while, then you might see it down the line a little bit, or even potentially on the next page if it's been pending for like a day or two, right? But I just kind of wanted to touch on this. Keep an eye out for it. It's not that big of a deal, but obviously I don't want it to hurt your metrics and I don't want you to lose any profit.